I'm from Philly, and I gotta reference my man Meek Mill. Meek Mill said something in his song Amen with Drake that I love. I just want to thank God for all the pretty women he let in my life, all the Benjamins you let me count, wealth and health, for my family, and letting me ball on these guys. Now, I'm trying to keep it PG, but he said something else. I would like to thank God for the Eagles' disrespect, for the doubters, and most of all, for the Jalen Hurts haters. I love y'all. Now, when I first saw the disrespect this week, I was pretty mad. I was pretty mad because I thought to myself, like, I felt like people have selective amnesia. Selective amnesia. It's like people pick and choose what they remember and what they forget when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Now, some have said you can't just keep harping on that Super Bowl run. I feel like that's BS because it's like, well, on the biggest stage, I saw this man ball out. But all right, cool. I just saw a couple weeks ago, leading up to a Steelers game, all the talk was about the passing game. And then in that same exact Steelers game, this man has 290 passing yards and had a full-out masterclass. I guess that wasn't enough. Because that next game, he got injured in that first quarter. He didn't play the last two games, and it was like, oh, like, was that any people maybe forgot? All right, fine. The more people doubt Jalen Hurts, I believe the better this Eagles team is. So I used to get mad at the doubters. I used to get mad at the haters, but I look at it now and I say thank you. And I'm going to reference a Meek Mill song like I did in the beginning of this episode. I just want to thank God for the Eagles doubters, the haters, and the folks that just keep disrespect Jalen Alexander Hurts' name. Bruh, if you're out here saying that Jalen Hurts is the weak link that will stop the Eagles from being Super Bowl champions or at the very least getting to the dance, I don't know what you've been watching. Now, there's been talk about how the Eagles are hiding something with Jalen Hurts, as if like he can't do certain stuff in the passing game, and that's going to bite the Eagles in the butt in the playoffs. I want to let you know, this Eagles team in 2024, 2025 is miles better than the team in 2022, 2023 that got to the Super Bowl. They have a top 3 defense in the game. Top 3. They have AJ Brown playing at the most productive level of his career. Not the best stats-wise, but the most productive given the amount of targets and receptions he's had this season. You have Devontae Smith, who's missed 4 games this season and has a career high in touchdown receptions. And then, of course, I didn't even mention a 2K rushing leader. 2K Saquon Barkley. And so I'm looking at this roster. Howie Roseman did his big one. He flat out did his big one. Offensively, this man drafted Jordan Mailata. He drafted Landon Dickerson. He drafted Cam Jurgens. He brought in Mekhi Becton. He drafted Jalen Hurts. He drafted Devontae Smith. He traded for AJ Brown. He acquired Saquon Barkley. Oh, on defense, drafted N'Kobe Dean, signed Zach Bond, signed CJ Garner-Johnson, drafted Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in the same draft. Oh my God, God is good. Drafted Jalen Carter. Went ahead and stole Milton Williams. Re-signed Josh Sweat on a team-friendly deal. Drafted Nolan Smith. It's ridiculous. He's the executive of the year, and this Eagles roster is a flat-out super team. But the question's always, well, what's Jalen Hurts going to do? It's wild to me that a season where a quarterback has 32 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 68 completion percentage, 68, 10th in QBR, 103 passer rating, a better passer rating than Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. Not to mention less interceptions than Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes. Hell, even Dak has more picks in 8 games played. In just 8 games played. And only Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert have less picks in terms of quarterbacks that have played 12 or more games this season. But this is considered a down year for Jalen Hurts. I go back to what I said earlier. This team is better than 2022. Ultimately, y'all, Jalen Hurts is somebody that when y'all doubt him, this is my last point. It's my last point that I'm going to get into the Packers-Eagles preview. Because I know a lot of y'all watching now, y'all know what Hurts is. Y'all know what he brings to the table. You know how much value he brings to this team. But I do want to say this one last thing about the haters before I get to the preview. I appreciate the Jalen Hurts doubters so much because you make him play better. When Hurts is doubted, when this whole entire team is doubted, they feed off of the disrespect. They do. Like when y'all snub CJ Garner-Johnson from being a Pro Bowler, it was like, oh, well, thank you. Now he has another fire under his, you feel me? You know what? To go ahead and prove why he's one of the best safeties in the league. When it hurts, when y'all just flat out say that he's the weakest link on this team. I mean, I saw this Bleacher. This is my last point on it, bro. I saw this Bleacher Report post that had the one weakness that will keep every playoff team out the Super Bowl, right? It's crazy that, like, you see the Texans. All right, their offensive line, cool. The Steelers, their entire offense, all right, cool. The Packers, their inconsistent pass game, all right, cool. The Lions, their poor pass defense, all right, cool. The Vikings, Sam Darnold, all right, cool. Yeah, that's understandable. The Bills' lack of elite wide receivers, all right, cool. And the Ravens and their suspect secondary, all right, cool. I'm looking at the Eagles slide. It says Jalen Hurts. When will y'all learn? When will y'all ever learn? It's cool. It's cool. Because guess what? Quarterback one's back. And it's funny that, like, the narrative earlier this week was, what could the Eagles do without their quarterback one? What could they do without Jalen Hurts? Oh, well, if Tanner McKee, if Kenny Pickett is in, there's no way they can make a run at the Super Bowl. And then Hurts comes back. He clears concussion protocol. He's a full participant in practice. He's a full participant in practice. And now the narrative is, well, is Hurts the weakest link on this team? PSA, if you believe Jalen Hurts is the weakest link on this team, you might as well shut your TV off, delete social media, and live under a rock and come back February 9th around like midnight. Maybe come on Broad Street and you're going to see a bunch of Philadelphians out there, John, acting a damn fool. Because I'm letting you know, if that's what you are concerned about, then you don't even need to watch the rest of the NFL this season, because I can bet my bottom dollar in the best game, in the most spotlighted of the game, in the most pressure situation, Jalen Hurts will perform, bro. He will. He will. So I'm looking at this Packers-Eagles preview. I really believe that the Packers are going to get blown out. This is not me being a fan. This is me analyzing the game of football. If I truly believed that the Packers stood a chance, I would say it. I would say it. Like, I believe that the Lions are the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC. I believe after them, it's the Buccaneers. I don't believe that the Eagles will blow those teams out. I believe that the Eagles will blow this team out. Now, the Packers are without Christian Watson. Y'all, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal, because the loss of Christian Watson is very, very similar to when the Steelers played the Eagles and they didn't have George Pickens. Now, I'm not saying that Jordan Love and Russell Wilson are the same guy, or that the Steelers offense is the same as the Packers offense. What I'm saying is the roles that George Pickens and Christian Watson have in each of those offenses are very, very similar as deep threats, because you have to respect their ability to catch that deep ball. You have a guy in Christian Watson this season averaged 21 yards per reception. 21 yards. And this offense, this Packers offense, was actually one of the most explosive offenses in the league with him in the lineup. With him out of it, they was pretty pedestrian. They was pretty pedestrian. So the Packers are banking on either Bo Melton or Romeo Dobbs, Ontavian Wicks, and Jaden Reed to have out-of-body performances against the number one pass defense in the NFL. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 15, not 16, not 20, not 31st like it was last year. The number one. Thank you, Vic Fangio. Thank you, Christian Parker. The number one pass defense in the NFL. I've seen this man, Cooper DeJean, lock up Jamar Chase, the Triple Crown winner. And respectfully, you go from Jamar Chase to Jaden Reed. Good night. Good night. That's how I'm feeling. That's exactly how I'm feeling, bro. Do a little Steph. Good night, bro. Good night. And so I think that Jordan Love, he's all right, bro. But like, as I said before, Jordan Love hasn't passed for over 250 passing yards since Thanksgiving. That's almost like January, December. That's almost 2 months ago. It's over a month and a half ago. Come on, y'all. It's not rocket science. And so I'm talking about this offense now on the Eagles side. Do you know how effective A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Devontae Smith are when they play together? They're undefeated this year. Never lost. Not to mention Dallas Goedert is coming back. He's healthy. Hell, our second tight end with Grant Calcaterra, he's been making plays. And I didn't even mention 2K Say, that's rested off his bye week. And maybe I was wrong, because he gets extra rest, and this goes to show that this man's going to be on another planet against the Packers. And so I don't feel like this Packers defense can stop this Eagles offense. The only thing I would say, I would advise the Eagles to get off and running early, just to get that pressure off their back early. But I'm not worried at all. I think that they'll get to a big lead early. run the ball, run the clock, and it's going to be a situation where the time of possession is so lopsided that like Jordan Love and these boys are going to have barely enough time to even put up any points on the board. And when they do have the ball, they're going to get locked up. And so similarly, just like that Steelers game, you're going to have an Eagles team that's going to bleed out the clock, bleed out the clock, bleed out the clock, and bleed out the clock. I mean, you saw against the Steelers what happened. The Eagles had the ball with like 10 minutes left after the Steelers planted the ball on that 4th and 3 or 2, whatever. It was a 4th and short. Might have been like a 4th and 7, might be. They planted that John, thinking that they would get the ball back eventually. They never did. I mean, you had Russell Wilson out there on the sideline thinking he was going to get the ball back. No, buddy. Sorry, buddy. And that's going to be a similar situation to the Packers and Jordan Love. That's what it's going to be, bro. That's what it's going to be. So one thing I got to say, AJ Brown's injury, all right, that's something to monitor for sure. And if AJ Brown is out, that's a huge loss, but they said that he's resting. It's maintenance. I'm not really worried, bro. I'm not worried about AJ Brown. I feel like he'll be ready. I saw what he did against the Commanders. I saw that he literally gave Marshawn Lattimore fits. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore probably wakes up having nightmares out his sleep off of what AJ Brown did to him. And especially with Jair Alexander out, who on this Packers team is at the level remotely close to Marshawn Lattimore? Please enlighten me. And we saw this man, AJ Brown, get 60 yards off penalties on one drive. One drive. Look, bro, I ain't trying to be cocky. I'm just telling y'all the facts. And you just let me know what you think. Let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. That's all I want to say. My last 2 points. I think Vic Fangio is going to end his career in Philadelphia. He's going to stay as the defensive coordinator. He's from the Philadelphia area. He's got family here. He wanted to be here from the start, I think like 2 years ago. Then Jonathan Gannon got the job. But ultimately, Vic Fangio has done a phenomenal job. And he's a guy that he's content being a DC. Look, he don't want to be a head coach no more. He's been there. He's done that. He's content doing that. Now, Kellen Moore, on the other hand, let's be honest. Kellen Moore, if he gets the opportunity, he gonna want to be a head coach. Now, I don't knock him for it. Hell, reach for the stars, bro. Reach for the stars, you might land on the moon. Might land on the moon. So, I really feel like if the Eagles win the bowl or get there, Kellen Moore is a good chance that he might be gone as a head coach. But ultimately, that's what happens when you have a guy, Nick Sirianni, he doesn't call plays. And so you're going to see more offensive coordinators get credit for this offense, as they should. But that's the territory that you're in when you have Sirianni as your head coach. There's going to be coordinators going in and out, especially if the Eagles have a great year or if they have a bad year like they did last season. So I see a guy in Kellen Moore. He interviewed for the Jaguars job. He interviewed for the Saints job as well. Now, do I think that Kellen Moore is that good? I feel like he's good, but I don't feel like he's like elite. I feel like we just have such great weapons. It's like, come on, you just got to be competent and you can do some stuff. But good for him. I'm not really tripping. People like, oh, I want Kellen Moore back. I'm like, he's cool. But as long as we have our pieces, we good. We good. And that's where it is, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz, bro. I had to get this off my chest. I'm going to record again. But I feel so good about this. I'm so antsy. And we're going to have a vlog during the game. Me and my dad are going to be there. We're going to be there together. Shout out Pops, man. Love that guy to death. My dog for life. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Share a friend and share a friend. Rich Talk with MJ. We are out.